My beloved child, it is I, the one who created the heavens and the earth, who is orchestrating a divine shift in your life. Prepare yourself to depart. You did not mishear what I am saying. Pack your bags, not with the material possessions you own, but with what you are holding on to in your heart. Memories, attachments, old habits, and things once familiar. I am moving you, not to take away, but to open up a new space, a place where your destiny will enter a deeper, more mature, and more vision-filled phase. I am leading you out from where you are, to bring you into another place, a new home, a new land, a space where my presence will be revealed in a way more profound, more radiant, more alive than ever before. This is not merely a physical or environmental relocation, but a shift in the spiritual realm. I am changing your dwelling, not to remove your safety, but to position you in a new place, where you will see what I have long prepared for you. Things that could not be received where you once were. I do nothing by chance. When I move someone, it is because what I have destined for them no longer fits the land they are in. That land could be a season, a relationship, a mindset, or simply a way of seeing. But when I move, it is to enlarge the space you can walk into. It is to elevate the place I desire to set you. It is to release you from the limitations you once accepted as normal. You may feel unfamiliar, confused, even disoriented. But do not let the uncertainty of circumstance overshadow the certainty of the promise. You may not know where you are going, but you know who is leading you, and that is all you need. Oh, my child, you once thought home was where you lived. But in me, home is not a location. Home is where my presence is. Wherever I place you, there you will bloom, there you will take root, there you will grow and bear fruit in season. It is not the place that defines you, it is I. And wherever I am, there is safety, there is blessing, there is rightness. I am moving you to a new place, not merely a physical shelter, but a space of spirit and purpose. A place where your calling will echo with greater clarity. A place where once shut doors will suddenly swing open. A place where you will encounter those I have prepared. Connections not by chance, but by mission. A place where promises long dormant will awaken, and dreams you once thought dead will begin to breathe again. You may fear change. I understand that. I do not rebuke you. But know this. Every shift I initiate carries within it a question. Do you trust me? Because the root of the movement is not about where you're going. It's about whether you trust the one who is leading you. I am not merely leading you. I am walking with you. Not a single step must you take alone. Every path you turn to, every door you knock on, every person you meet, has already been written into the heavenly map I have designed specifically for you, and nothing, no one, no power can stand in the way of what I have ordained. So, my child, gather yourself. Pack up your gratitude for the place you are about to leave. Let it remain as a beautifully closed chapter in the story of your life. Then lift your head and step into the new, not with fear, but with the deep knowing that the one who brought you here is the same one now leading you further. My beloved child, do not let your heart be troubled anymore. Pause in the silence and feel it deeply, for I know you've already sensed it, even if you've not dared to name it. You felt it, like an undercurrent in the depths of your soul. Something is stirring, a gentle, relentless prompting, a voice not spoken with lips, yet echoing unmistakably in your spirit. The posture you once held was a land I allowed you to dwell in, but it is no longer the place that fits. It was only a rest stop. It fulfilled its purpose in your journey of growth. It was the first layer of soil, the shelter in your days of quiet becoming. But now, that land has become too narrow for the vision I am expanding within you. The limits you once accepted are now the borders I am calling you to break. Can you see it, my child? In these recent days, deep in your soul, the peace you once had no longer feels the same. Something keeps stirring, even though everything on the outside seems unchanged. This is not coincidence. It is not a fleeting emotion. It is the sign that I am stirring the still waters, awakening dreams you once buried. It is I who am shaking the atmosphere around you, preparing you for a holy transition. Remember how many times you've been startled awake in the night by a feeling you couldn't name. How many times you've walked past familiar places only to feel your heart sink as if they no longer belonged to you. How many times you've heard my voice, not outside but in every breath, every heartbeat, saying, "It's time to go." You doubted, you thought, maybe it's just my own voice, a passing thought. But my child, it wasn't. It was me. I am the one reaching into your soul. It is my hand resting gently on your shoulder, whispering with unshakable love, "Step forward." You thought you weren't ready, that you needed more time, that maybe you should wait until things felt more stable, more clear, more certain. But my child, you don't need everything to be perfect to take the next step. You only need one thing: trust. Because perfection does not come before the step. It comes after faith. Every step you take in obedience will illuminate the path ahead. I have begun a new thing. I do not speak empty words. I do not awaken hope only to abandon it. I do not stir your heart and then turn away in silence. No, my beloved, I am intentional, I am active, I am moving, because I desire to take you further than you ever dared to dream. And before that can happen in the physical, it must first happen in your heart. That is what you are feeling now. A holy trembling, an inner bell ringing, heralding a new season. A voice, loving yet firm, calling out, "You can no longer stay here." And my child, do not think this is only about you. No, what I am doing in you is part of something greater, broader, and deeper. You are a link in my eternal plan. Your shift will not only transform you, it will transform the atmosphere around you. There are people waiting for you in the new land. They do not know it yet, but you are the answer to their prayers. And there are those who must remain behind, who need you to go, so they may learn to walk in my grace for themselves. You have remained in the old place long enough to receive what was needed, but if you stay any longer, that place will become your chain. What once was your shelter will become your prison. What once nourished you will become your limitation. And I love you far too much to let you be held back by what once was a blessing, but is no longer appointed for this time. You do not need to secure your future by your own ability. You only need to hold fast to the certainty that the one who called you is responsible for every step you take. I will not leave you alone in the unknown. I am the one who makes a way in the wilderness, who brings water in the dry desert, who shines light in the dark of night. I will tend to every smallest detail. I will open doors no one can shut. I will move hearts. I will arrange circumstances. And above all, I will guard your heart with peace. Peace that surpasses all understanding. My child, you do not need full understanding to have faith. You only need to remember, I am faithful. My word has never failed. What I have spoken shall come to pass, and what I have begun, I will complete. Do not fear the change. Do not fear the call. Do not fear the first step, for you will never walk alone. I am going before you to clear the way. I am beside you to uphold you. And I am behind you to protect you. Pack your bags, not in haste, but with reverence, not in panic, but in trust. Say goodbye with gratitude, for everything that has passed was part of the journey that brought you here. And then, step forward, as one who knows they are called, sent, and secured by the Almighty Himself. O my beloved child, do not let your mind be deceived for even one more moment. For too long the enemy has sought to imprison your soul in an invisible cage made of fear, doubt, and lies. He has whispered to you through hardships, through shattered dreams, even through your own inner voice, you will never overcome. Day by day he has echoed that you are stuck, that you cannot change, that you've gone too far or waited too long. He has cloaked the light of hope in the darkness of your past experiences. He has replayed your failures, magnified your mistakes, and forged invisible chains from them to bind your feet. He has made you believe you are too weak to walk, too unworthy to rise, too broken to be rescued. But today, my precious child, I come to uproot every lie from the depths of your soul and to proclaim a truth that cannot be shaken. I am breaking every chain. Listen well, my child. Not a single chain forged by sin, by despair, by fear, or by torment can stand against my power. No prison the enemy has built can contain the soul I have called out of darkness. You do not belong to captivity. You were not born for bondage. You were not created to be ruled by pain, by wounds, or by false identities placed upon you by others. You are the called, the anointed, the set free. I am not just opening the prison doors for you, I am breaking them down. I am not merely unfastening the chains, I am destroying them at the root, so that not a single trace remains that could bind you again. Because when I act, I complete the work. When I deliver, I leave no residue. When I call someone out of captivity, they come forth, not only with free hands, but with a restored heart, with eyes that see clearly, and with a back standing tall like one crowned with authority. Do you know why the enemy fights so hard to keep you bound? Because he fears what I've placed inside of you. He trembles at the sound of your voice. He is terrified by the light you are capable of shining. He is not afraid of the weak, but he fears the one who knows they are loved. He is not intimidated by failure, but he quakes before the one who rises from failure with a faith fiercer than before, and that is you. You are a threat to the darkness, not because you are perfect, but because you are the one I have redeemed by my blood. Do not believe in the change you once grew used to. They do not define your worth. I know where you've been. I have seen every silent tear fall. I have watched every night you tried to pray, but couldn't find the words. I was there in those moments when you thought you had nothing left. But my child, I wasn't just sitting there watching. I was moving. I am reaching into the depths. I am lifting you up. I am cutting through every knot, every link, every wound you thought would never heal. And I declare, you are free. Not free in fleeting emotion, but free by the power of the Spirit. Free not because everything is now easy, but because your heart no longer bows to condemnation. Free not because your situation changed in an instant, but because you know to whom you belong. Free to step out, free to step in, free to live the destiny I appointed for you before you were formed in your mother's womb. And now, my beloved, after the chains have been broken, I am not leaving you standing still. I am calling you to move forward. Step into the new land. Step into the divine appointment. Step into the place where your voice will no longer be stifled by fear. Step into a restoration deeper than anything you ever dared to dream, because you were not only rescued from something, a new season is unfolding. And with every new season, I pour out new grace, new revelation, new strength. What used to knock you down in the last season will no longer have power in this one. The words that once made you shrink back will no longer pierce your soul as before, because you have been marked by the power of the living one. And no one, no thing, no force can change that. Walk forward, my beloved. Hold your head high, not out of pride, but out of gratitude, because you survived, and more than that, you have been made righteous. Let a new song rise from within you, the song of the free, the song of the forgiven, the song of one who knows nothing has the power to bind them any longer. Let your eyes fix forward to where the new door is opening. I have prepared the way. I have set it in order, and I am going before you. You no longer belong to the old prison, no longer a victim of circumstance, no longer trapped in the old story. You are the central figure in the new story I am writing. A story of victory, of renewal, of glory. My beloved child, do not let fear grip your heart as you are called to leave behind the familiar. Do not let the uncertainty of the future dim the light of hope I have ignited in your soul. For I, the Almighty God, the one who spoke the heavens and earth into being, the one who knows the end from the beginning, I am going before you. I am not watching from afar as you stumble in the dark. No. I am the one who leads the way, the one who clears the path, the one who places my feet on the ground before yours ever touch it. Do not be afraid of what you do not yet know, for nothing lies beyond my understanding. There is no path too tangled for me, no door too fortified that I cannot break through. Even now, in this very moment, I am moving, though your eyes may not yet see it. The doors that were once tightly locked are now creaking under my hand. The barriers you believed to be permanent are beginning to tremble. The paths once buried beneath the dust of disappointment, rejection, and broken dreams, I am clearing them with the breath of my love. Have you ever felt that no matter how hard you tried, an invisible wall blocked your way? Have there been nights where you wondered why the door wouldn't open, why everything felt stuck, why your heart felt heavy without reason? My child, it is not because you lack faith, nor because you've been forgotten. It is because the time has not yet come, and I, the one who moves never a moment too late, am aligning everything into place, for divine timing is not governed by the clocks of man, but by the perfect harmony between your heart and my will. You may not feel anything happening, but trust. Beneath the surface silence, I am shifting like deep currents beneath the ocean. The people I will connect you with are being prepared. The circumstances that will usher you into a turning point are taking shape. The doors once slammed shut in the past are now beginning to crack open. And soon, they will swing so wide no force will be able to close them again. Do not fear the unknown, for the place you do not know is the place I have already prepared. You may step into this new land with trembling feet, but I am right beside you, the pillar for every step, the whisper of comfort in the night, the wings that cover you when the storm rises. What you have never seen, I have already seen. What you have never dared to dream, I am ready to give. The places you never thought your feet would touch, these are the very places I am leading you into, to fulfill my eternal purpose in you. You were not forged to remain in the safety of the familiar, but to become one who walks by faith, not because you know what's ahead, but because you know who holds the future. And I promise you, I am not only preparing the road ahead, but I am removing every obstacle that once hindered you. The forces that made you hesitate, fear, hurt, accusation, insecurity, criticism, are being dismantled by the light of truth I am shining upon your life. I am breaking the chains that once held you back. I am making clear the paths once shrouded by pain. I am giving you spiritual eyes to see what you have never seen before, to see hope in the midst of despair, to see a way through the wilderness, to see opportunity where it once looked like the end. You will no longer knock on doors in vain, for I myself am the door. And when I open, no power can shut. My child, be strong in heart. Do not fix your eyes on the circumstance. Fix them on me. Do not measure the future by the past. Measure it by my promise. Move forward with a trusting heart, even if your eyes still struggle to see. For what I am doing is real, not dependent on your emotions, not limited by time or situation. Prepare your spirit as one about to enter a new land. Leave behind the words that once made you doubt yourself. Cast off the old garments of fear and clothe yourself with the sacred expectation of what is to come. For what I have prepared for you is not what you've had before. It is beyond all you could have imagined. And you will see when you walk in obedience, you will step into the promised land I have long awaited to give you since the beginning. A land not only of provision, but of spiritual fulfillment. A land not only of outward blessing, but of deep rest for the soul. A land where you will no longer live merely to survive, but to fulfill, to manifest my love, to rekindle hope in others, to carry light into the darkness. My child, this is the time of transition. Do not delay, do not look back. Believe that what I have begun, I will also bring to completion. And never forget this. It was I who opened the way through the Red Sea when there seemed to be no way. And it is I, even now, who am making a way through the wilderness of your heart. My beloved child, this transition is not merely about leaving a place or changing your physical position in the world. No, this is not just another natural relocation. This is a deeper shift, a sacred movement, a spiritual journey, where I am leading you from an old dimension into a deeper realm of intimacy with me. I am lifting you up, not just out of your circumstances, but lifting your mind, lifting your vision, lifting the way you see yourself and the world around you. I am moving you into a higher place where you will learn to think as a true child of the kingdom, not limited by emotion, not controlled by painful memories or the false labels the world once placed on you. Because when I call you out of the old land, I do not merely intend to bring you into a new place. I intend to free you from an old mindset. I am peeling away the layers of lowly thinking, the distorted beliefs shaped by failure, weighed down by poisonous words, and wounded by unhealed experiences. You once accepted a life beneath the standard I set for you, thinking you could be no different. But now, I come to declare to you, no more. I am redefining you by my living word, not by what others once called you, not by how your circumstances have shaped your thoughts, but by the eternal truth I inscribed on you before the foundations of the world. You are no longer the one bound by assumptions, no longer the one bowed under the weight of, you'll never, you're not good enough, you don't deserve. I am erasing every label the world has placed on you, and in its place, I give you the name I chose for you, called Beloved, set apart for a higher purpose. This transformation will reach into the very roots of your soul. It will change the way you see yourself when you look into the mirror. You will no longer see someone small struggling to survive. You will begin to see one who is anointed, equipped, and led by my almighty hand. Your mind will be renewed, your speech will be purified, and your heart will be made steadfast, no longer swayed by the fleeting, but anchored in the eternal rock. My child, for this very reason I must move you, not just geographically, but spiritually. If I were to leave you in the old place, bound to old patterns of thought, you would continue to limit yourself. You would continue to see your life through a lens of fear, lack, and discouragement. But now, I am replacing that old lens with the vision of heaven. I am placing within you a greater perspective, a deeper spiritual wisdom, and a stronger faith, so that you may walk forward, unshaken by your circumstances. There was a time you believed certain things were impossible. A time you thought some limits could never be broken. You once heard the voices saying you would never leave this place, that you were born to remain in that confined space. And you believed them. Not because you were weak, but because you had not yet heard my voice clearly in the storm of life. But today, I have come to shatter those false declarations. My child, that was never the truth. Those words were not from me. I never said you would stay in this condition forever. I never placed the limitations on you that people did. And now I am rewriting your story, not with ink, but with life, not with theory, but with power, not in books, but upon your very life. I will confound your enemies as they watch you rise from the very place where you once fell. I will shake every negative prophecy as you walk in the fullness I have destined for you, and I will show both heaven and earth that when I place my hand upon someone, no force can stand in the way. You are entering a new season, not as someone fleeing the past, but as one commissioned for a divine mission. You will no longer fear rejection, for you know you have been chosen. You will no longer strive to please people, for you know you are already pleasing to me. You will no longer ask, "Can I?" but will begin to ask, "What would you have me do next, Lord?" This spiritual shift will not only bring change to your life, but also to those around you. As you are lifted up, the light within you will become a path for others. As you are renewed, your words will carry life and healing. As your mind is anchored in me, you will no longer be shaken by threats, criticisms, or the storms of this world. So, my child, open wide your heart. Prepare not only for an outward change, but for a deep inward transformation. Be ready to let go, not just of places, but of old mindsets, barren spiritual structures, and beliefs that no longer bring life. I am leading you into a complete shift, not just a new phase, but a new chapter in your divine destiny. And there you will look back and see clearly. I didn't just change your location. I transformed your inner life. I opened your eyes to see things you never dared believe could be real. I placed you upon solid rock, so that from now on you may stand firm in any season, no longer shaken, no longer defined by others, but living fully in the identity I engraved upon your soul. There will be doubtful eyes, whispers of confusion about why you would leave your comfort zone, a place where everyone thought you should stay, where it felt safe to settle. Some may weep in sorrow. Some may criticize you for not choosing the familiar path, but they do not see what I have placed within you, a holy calling, deeper than all the voices of this world. You are not walking away to stir up trouble, nor because you lack love for what has been. You are leaving because I have called, and when I call, obedience is the only path that leads to true life. You do not need to justify yourself. Not everyone is given spiritual sight to understand the movements of heaven, and that is okay, for my call is not for the crowd. It is for the souls willing to be set ablaze by the fire of transformation. I know it's hard. You have cried in the night, wrestled within yourself, asked me if you could stay just a little longer. But I say, no. The time has come. When I awaken you, delay becomes disobedience. Arise and go, for the old season has passed, and I am leading you into a new journey, where my glory will be revealed through your life more deeply than ever before. There will be arms that try to hold you back, old memories that scream and plead for you to turn around. But my child, remember what I have spoken. Do not look back. Do not let your heart be frozen by the past like Lot's wife, who could not detach her soul from what once was. Regret may look like love, but in truth it is a chain that keeps your feet from stepping into the better things I have prepared. Everything you once had, once knew, once felt. Relationships, familiar places, cherished emotions, they all served their purpose in the previous season. But now, I am inviting you into something new, into a season where I myself will be your refuge, your source, your guiding light. You don't need to understand every detail. I did not call you to walk in control, but in faith. You are not the one carrying everything. I am the one going before you, leveling the rough places, clearing the path of obstacles. The doors that no one can open, I will open. The things that seem impossible, I will make possible. You do not need to strive alone. I never call without providing. In my hand is every resource, and I lack nothing. I will give you the grace to stand when the winds are strong. I will fill you with fresh strength when you grow weary. I will place words of wisdom in your mouth when you do not know what to say. You are not walking alone. You are walking with me, and that is the only thing you need to know. Do not let fear overtake you, my beloved child. Fear is the voice of the past, the echo of a closed season. You are a person of the future, of hope, of transformation. Within you is the seed of a great harvest, a harvest that will never come to be unless you go. The road ahead will not be simple, but it will be meaningful. Every step you take is a step of faith, every breath a response to my call, and it is in this obedience that you will find the fullness of life your soul has longed for. Those who stay behind may not understand, but that is not your burden to carry. Not every calling requires explanation. Not every departure needs a lengthy goodbye. There are moments when I call you to walk in silence, because it is in that silence I am deepening your spiritual roots. Trust that those who need to know will know. Those who need to understand will be given light, and if they truly belong in my plan for your journey, they will remain. If not, release them in peace. For I am not only taking you further, I am purifying your connections, so what remains is pure from me and unshakable. Things may seem unclear right now. You may feel as though you're walking on water, with nothing solid beneath your feet. But do you remember? It was on the water that I called Peter out of the boat, and only when he stepped out of the place of safety did he step into the miracle. The same is true for you. What I have prepared for you is not in the realm of the familiar. It lies in the realm of faith, where logic cannot lead, and trust is your only compass. But do not fear, for I am the one holding your hand. Every time your feet tremble, I will steady you. Every time you feel unbalanced, I will be the rock you can cling to. This road is not walked alone. Along this sacred journey, you will encounter other souls who, like you, have answered the call. People who are not defined by their past, but by the mission I've breathed into them. They won't ask why you left. They will recognize you by the fire in your eyes, the resolve in your steps, and together you will become a quiet but mighty army, carrying my fire into places grown cold, proclaiming truth in an age of deception, and reigniting hope in hearts that have lost their way. I am sending you not merely to a new place, but to become a new person. Not just to do something different, but to become something greater. One who carries the mark of holiness, of purpose, of light in the midst of darkness. Every step you take is a step out of your former shell, away from the mold others once believed you should fit, and that will hurt. But from within that pain, birth begins. A new season is breaking forth, and you are a vital part of the harvest. So do not delay, my child. Do not be dismayed when things are unclear. Just walk, even if it's just one step forward, because every step of obedience is a declaration. I trust you, I choose you, I follow the call, not the comfort. And as you walk, all of heaven moves with you. My arm is not too short to save, my ear is not too dull to hear. I am here, going before you, walking with you, and waiting for you ahead. I am moving more deeply than your eyes can see or your ears can hear. I am not merely leading you out of a physical place, I am enacting a thorough cleansing within you. I am silencing every voice of doubt that has lingered in your mind. Those whispers of confusion and contradiction that have stopped you midway, afraid to step fully into what I prepared. Those sounds were once invisible walls, but now I silence them. This new silence is not emptiness. It is the space where my voice can be heard more clearly. I am removing every distraction from your path. Everything that once blurred your vision, everything that divided your heart, I am taking it out of your reach. The relationships that confused you, the habits that dulled your soul to my presence, they are being dismantled. I am clearing out the inner space so I may dwell in you more fully and unmistakably. Because you cannot carry old baggage into a new era. The burdens, the attachments, the things that once felt normal, they no longer belong to you. This transition is not merely about leaving a location. It is a profound spiritual shift. I am transforming the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you receive from me. I am taking you out of places where you no longer grow, out of environments that no longer nourish your calling, or worse, are draining you dry. You cannot bloom in soil that no longer holds life. I love you too much to let you stay there one moment longer. I am pulling you away from the circles that no longer walk in truth with you, those familiar with your former self, but unable to accept the new thing I am doing in you. They are not evil, but they are no longer aligned. They cannot see you as I do. So I am leading you out, not to make you proud or isolated, but to set you apart for something higher. For there are moments in your spiritual journey when you must walk, not among crowds, but in the stillness with me. I am setting you apart, not to remove you from love, but to immerse you in true love. Not to leave you behind, but to lift you up. Not to make you lost, but to reposition you. Because you cannot be a powerful instrument in my hand while still tethered by connections that are not born of my will. Relationships built on emotion, habit, or fear of loss, they are not strong enough to carry you into an eternal calling. My child, this is a season of holy separation. I do not want you to merely exist in relationships where your presence is merely tolerated, not cherished. I did not create you to live within small circles where your dreams are stifled by jealousy, where your light is seen as a threat rather than a source of inspiration. No. I am lifting you above the low-lying clouds so you can clearly see what I am doing. You belong to a deeper realm, a spiritual dimension, where all that is shallow must fall away, and to enter it, you must embrace a season of holy solitude. But do not fear, for in that stillness, you will meet me. I am leading you into deeper places, where only those who are truly called can withstand the pressure of refinement. This journey is not for the faint of heart, and I know you have felt weary, have doubted yourself before. But it is in your weakness that my power is made perfect. You thought this transition was to bring you to a different place, but in truth, it is much deeper. I am transforming your inner being, restructuring your mindset, renewing your mind, cleansing old wounds, and establishing within you an unshakable foundation. You once believed you had to strive to preserve old relationships, old roles, old habits. But now I am showing you, some things must die for you to truly live. Some doors must close so that new ones can open. I am leading you out of the old land, not only in the literal sense, but spiritually, emotionally, and inwardly. This is a sacred exodus, and I am the one guiding your steps. Be still and hear my voice. What once felt familiar but no longer brings life will fall away. Places that once fed you but now limit you will be replaced. Do not grieve, for if you cling to what has expired, you will miss what is coming. I am moving and none can hinder me. I am removing you from environments that limit your thinking, from spaces that shrink you, that cause you to question what I have placed within you. This is a time for you to be set apart, not in prideful detachment from the world, but for refinement, for rebirth in my presence. Just as Moses had to separate from Egypt to meet me in the wilderness, just as David was cast out from the palace to be forged in the cave, just as Joseph was betrayed and imprisoned, only to one day be lifted to glory, you too are in that process. And if you surrender your heart, you will see my glory revealed in ways beyond imagination. I am bringing you to a place where my presence will cover you like a thick cloud. There, the noise will subside and you will hear me clearly. There you will relearn how to walk, not by logic, not under pressure, but by the leading of my Spirit. You will learn to discern not just what is good, but what is right. You will receive fresh revelation. You will be restored, not in the way you imagined, but in the way I know is best for your soul. You may feel now as though you are being uprooted, exposed, unanchored, but trust me, I never uproot without the intent to replant in richer soil. The new land I'm bringing you into will be a place where your roots go deep, your fruit will be sweet, and your life will become a shelter for many who thirst for life. But before that can happen, you must let me work in you, down to the roots, deep in the depths, at the very core of your being. So do not be saddened when some doors close. Do not grieve when certain people walk away. Do not cling to what I myself am removing from your hands. I know what is needed for you to walk lightly and firmly. I know what is a burden and what is a blessing. Trust me, my beloved, that when I bring you out, it is not to leave you wandering, but to place you precisely where you belong, in my eternal plan. And once you are set apart, you will begin to discern my voice, my will, and the rhythm of my heart more clearly. You will see new visions planted within your spirit. You will hear what was once drowned out by noise. You will feel a new life pulsing through every word I speak, every promise I've given. Because you are no longer distracted, no longer stretched between competing forces. You have been wholly placed in me, and that is where you truly belong. So, my child, be steadfast and continue forward. Let me remove what is no longer necessary. Allow me to strip away what it is time to release, and step into this sacred setting apart, not with fear, but with great expectation. For in this consecration you will encounter me, deeper, truer, more alive than ever before. And from that place, you will be sent, strong, pure, and filled with power. There will be long nights when you cannot sleep, burdened with countless unanswered questions. You look around and see only a heavy silence weighing on your mind. Everything I once promised may seem distant. The silence stretches like a test. At times you sigh in the dark, wondering, "Where are you, Lord? Do you still remember me? Are the promises real? Why am I still waiting and seeing no movement?" But my beloved child, let me speak to you with the full weight of love from the one who has never left your side, not even for a moment. I have never forgotten you. From the very first cry you uttered to me, I listened. From the first tear you shed in silence, I counted. From the first trembling step of obedience, I remembered. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are not lost in the silence. You are simply hidden in a sacred season that I myself have appointed to protect and prepare you. You see, the moments you feel as though nothing is happening are the very moments when I am doing the most in the unseen realm. I am clearing the path ahead. Paths your eyes have not seen, your ears have not heard, yet they are etched into the blueprint of my eternal will. You cannot see it all, for if I were to reveal everything at once, your heart could not bear it, but I, in surpassing wisdom, am preparing layer by layer, detail by detail, so that when you step forward, everything is already in place. The delays you feel are not denials, but divine alignments. There are things I am untangling, obstacles I am removing, people I am repositioning, and opportunities I am shaping to align with the appointed time. When you think nothing is moving, heaven is in full motion. Angels are being dispatched, doors are being oiled, and unseen hands are placing all things into divine order. My child, your heart may not yet feel it, but your faith must learn to know it. Because faith does not follow feeling, it walks in eternal truth. There are moments in the stillness when you feel hidden, but that hiddenness is not a sign I have abandoned you. On the contrary, it is my covering. Just as a seed is buried deep in the soil before it breaks through the ground to bear fruit, you too are being hidden in the shadow of preparation, not to be forgotten, but to be nourished, not so you wither, but so your roots might grow deeper, stronger, steadier. Do not fear the silence. Do not fear when nothing seems to be happening. For in that silence, I am weaving something extraordinary. You've doubted my timing before, haven't you? You've asked why others are moving ahead while you remain in the same place. But you don't yet know that the timing I've chosen for you is not like the timing of the world. I do not work by human clocks. I am not pressured by human calendars. I move according to the rhythm of eternal purpose, where everything unfolds at the right time, not early, not late. If I've asked you to wait, it's because what I have for you requires fullness. It's not only that the promise must be prepared for you, but that you must also be prepared for the promise. And I love you too much to give you something you are not yet ready to hold and protect. My child, know that I have not ignored your tears. Every prayer whispered in secret has been recorded. Not a single breath you take is meaningless to me. I see you when you try to be strong, though your heart is in turmoil. I see you obey even when you do not understand. And it is that very faithfulness in the small things that is shaking the spiritual realm. What you do not yet see is taking shape. Doors you thought were shut are beginning to shift. Miracles that once felt distant are drawing closer by the day. Beloved, I know there are days you grow weary of waiting. I see you worn from wondering when the moment will come. But let me remind you of this. Waiting in me is never in vain. Not a single moment of surrender to me is wasted. In the waiting you are being shaped. Your endurance is being refined. Your faith is being strengthened. And your soul is being purified, so that you can see me not only in miracles, but in every detail of life. I know you long to see breakthrough. I know you are holding on for promises to be fulfilled. But remember, a miracle does not begin with what is seen outwardly. It begins with what moves inwardly. And I am working in the deepest parts of you, the places no one else sees, so that when the season arrives, the explosion will not be a fleeting spark, but the fruit of a foundation I have carefully built with my own hands. So, my child, do not lose heart. Do not measure my love for you by the speed of what your eyes can see. My love goes beyond emotion. It is an unshakable foundation. Remain faithful in the small things. Keep walking step by step, even when the path ahead is unclear. For I am going before you, lighting your way with my very own light. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. You are not stagnant. You are in a season of preparation, where every good thing, at the right time and in the right season, will be unveiled. Do not give up midway. Do not let the silence deceive you into thinking I don't care. For I am very near. So near you can feel me when your heart is still and surrendered. And one day soon, when the fullness of time arrives, you will look back and see everything I did, in the silence, in the waiting, was because I loved you. You will see how every link was perfectly connected. You will feel how each moment that once seemed meaningless was the very thing that made way for my glory to burst forth in your life. And in that moment you will say, Lord, now I understand. I was never forgotten. You were doing wondrous things in the silence. When the time I have appointed draws near, when the preparation within you has reached its fullness, when every movement in the spiritual realm is aligned, then I will begin to move you. And my child, when I move, it is not merely a step from one place to another. It is a divine shaking of your spirit, your mind, and your circumstances. From the very moment I begin to shift you, everything around you will begin to change. in ways that even in your dreams you never dared to imagine. The things that once seemed sealed shut, the doors you stood before and wept over because they were denied, those very doors will begin to open. Not by your strength, not by clever strategy, but purely by my hand at work. I am the one who holds the keys to every door. What once stood as a wall of limitation will now become a highway of purpose. And you will know, this is no coincidence. This is my mark, my confirmation that you are walking in the direction of my divine leading. You will begin to see new faces entering your life, not by chance, but the right people at the right time for the right purpose. I have chosen them, touched their hearts, and prepared them to step into your life as part of the sacred plan I have laid out. They do not come to overshadow you, but to strengthen, support, encourage, and bear witness to what I am doing in your life. Some will walk with you only for a season, yet their presence will add great value to your journey, and there will be others, divinely woven pieces, destined to remain, walking with you through the greatest turning points of your life. Do not be surprised when unexpected opportunities begin to appear. They will come suddenly, far beyond what you had hoped for. They will make you wonder, how could this be? But I say to you, it is I. It is I who am moving. For when I open the way, you will not need to strive. You will not need to prove yourself. What I have set aside for you will not come through the efforts of the flesh, but through grace, pure, complete, and overflowing. You will witness things unfold that seem too good to be true. But the truth is, in me, there are no limits to what is good. You have grown accustomed to the boundaries of possible and impossible. But now, I am expanding your vision so that you may see what is impossible for man is fully possible with me. And then my grace will become clearer than ever before. Not just something you've heard preached, but something you will live. Not just something you've prayed for, but something you will taste each day. You will see that grace in the smallest things, like a door opening at the exact right moment, or a spontaneous conversation bringing deep encouragement. You will see that grace in the great things, like opportunities emerging without your push, breakthroughs happening apart from your efforts, and through it all you will know, this is something only I could have done. You once believed that some things were out of reach, that certain promises were too distant, that some boundaries could never be crossed. But now, I will show you what I have always seen in you: untapped potential, unreleased gifts, and a destiny far beyond every framework you've ever known. What once stood as walls of limitation, I will shatter. What once were immovable mountains, I will melt like wax before me. Breakthrough will no longer be a story you hear from others. It will be your own living testimony. You will look back and be unable to deny, the Lord has done this, not by my strength, but by His power and mercy. Everything will begin to shift, not just outwardly, but inwardly. You will be renewed. Your mindset will be transformed. You will no longer view life through the lens of limitation, but begin to think with the mind of heaven. You will no longer live as one begging for scraps, but walk as one who is sent, chosen, and commissioned with authority from heaven. I am bringing you into a season of rapid growth, but it will not wear you out, for I myself will be the strength that upholds you. I will pour out abundant wisdom and peace upon you, so that as you walk through great doors, your heart will remain steady, your mind clear, and your faith unshaken. The success you experience will not lead you to pride, for you will know deeply that every step forward is the result of my presence in your life. And in all things never forget this: no matter how great the favor, the most precious thing is still me, only me. The doors, the miracles, the people sent your way, all of it is merely a means to draw you closer to me. Do not let your eyes be captivated by what is outward and forget what is essential. In the midst of wonder, keep your heart tender. In the midst of increase, keep your heart grateful. In the light of new opportunities, always remember, nothing is more precious than being in my presence, hearing my voice, and walking with me. So prepare your heart, soften the soil of your soul, that when the rain of favor comes, the seeds within you may take deep root and bear abundant fruit. Step boldly through the doors I open. Stand firm in receiving those I bring into your life. Rejoice in the opportunities I give, even when they exceed your imagination. For you are living in the season I have promised, a season of breakthrough, of restoration, of irreversible transformation, a season where my glory will be revealed through your life in a way that no one can deny. But, my child, even as I prepare to bring you into a new and promising season, I want you to understand this. The journey of transformation you are about to walk will not be easy. This is not a smooth transition, not a change without friction or tears. It is a divine shift, powerful yet filled with challenge. For you are stepping out of the old, out of familiar spaces once called safe, into a new territory you've never walked before. And whenever a soul rises in courage to obey heaven's call, resistance will come. There will be battles, not only around you, but within. There will be moments when doubt creeps in like a thick fog, blurring your vision. The certainty you once held will feel fragile. You will hear voices from people, from past fears, and from the very enemy of your soul, all trying to tether you to the old. They will not shout, but whisper. And it is the whisper that often slips in unnoticed. They will say, "You're risking too much. Are you sure this is from God? What if you're wrong? What if nothing better lies ahead?" My child, know this. Those whispers are not from me. They are the voice of fear, cleverly dressed in the garments of logic. It is the enemy's familiar tactic to sow doubt, to cloud the clarity within you, to cause you to hesitate before taking your step. He knows that if you continue, if you walk through this unfamiliar land by faith, then my power will be revealed, and you will never be the same. So he will do all he can to make you question my movement. He will try to pull you back to the land I've already delivered you from, with voices that sound wise, but are void of life. Opposition will not only arise from the outside, but also from within. You will experience an inner conflict between what you once knew and what I am now calling you into, between what is familiar and what is being formed. You will find yourself feeling like a stranger in spaces you once called home. You will feel misunderstood, isolated, and there will be moments when it seems no one is standing with you. But my child, in that very darkness, I will be your light. When all else turns away, lift your eyes, for my gaze has never left you. This journey is not one of fleeting emotion. It is a journey of faith. And true faith is not forged in clarity, but in the trembling steps forward when nothing is certain. It is found in your obedience, even when the answers remain hidden. In your willingness to move, even when every part of your flesh urges you to stop. It is in those sacred moments of surrender that you will uncover the true power of trust. I do not promise a path without hardship, but I promise my presence in every single moment. I do not promise that you will never feel lost or confused, but I promise that I will be your unwavering peace in the storm. I do not promise universal understanding or acceptance, but I promise that you will be affirmed by me. You may feel as though you are stepping into unknown territory, a place with no map, no signs, no guide ahead. But remember, I am the Waymaker. I do not merely walk before you. I walk with you. I do not simply draw the path. I am the path. And you do not need worldly guarantees when you already have mine, from the one who holds every moment, every step, and every outcome in his hand. Be careful, my child, of the voices that seek to plant doubt in what I have spoken. The enemy does not fear those who believe in past miracles. He fears those who choose to live by faith in what is yet unseen. That is why he targets your mind, your weariness, and your wounds, seeking to slow you down. But I have placed within you my Spirit, who is stronger than any fear. He will remind you of my promises, illuminate your steps when you don't know the way, and anchor you when the world around you roars. Learn to quiet yourself before the noise, so you may hear my voice with clarity. This transition is not simply about changing your surroundings. It is about elevating you beyond former limitations and positioning you for the revelation of my glory. But you cannot carry the old things, old people, and old mindsets into the new. That is why the stripping will come before the increase, the solitude before the connection, the uncertainty before the confirmation. This is where I test your heart, not to break you, but to strengthen you beyond measure. I know there will be moments when you feel the pull to turn back, but remember Lot's wife, who became frozen in the flow of destiny because she could not release the past. You must not be like her. Fix your eyes on me. Stand firm, for this shift is not only about you, it is for the souls I desire to reach through you. There are generations waiting for you to rise, to walk forward, and to live fully in the calling I placed within you before the foundation of the world. So, my beloved child, when opposition rises, when fear tries to creep in, and when your heart grows weary, return to my presence. Let my voice rise above the noise of the world. Let my love silence every doubt, and let your faith become a fire, burning through every barrier and lighting the way for those who will come after you. I am leading you into something greater. But in order to step into it, you must dare to walk past the opposing voices. Do not let fear steal your reward. Remember this, I never begin a work in you that I do not intend to finish, and if I have called you out of the old place, surely I am preparing a new one worthy of your arrival. Walk forward with courage, my child, for what awaits ahead is worthy of every sacrifice you're paying today. And then, my beloved one, when you walk steadfastly through the seasons of testing, when you do not give up in the long nights of doubt and wrestling, when you still choose to trust me in the midst of every opposing voice, then one day you will see clearly the undeniable impact of the work I myself have been doing in your life. Everything that has happened, whether sorrow, tears, or silent surrender, will not be wasted. You will look back in awe, not because you made it through, but because I held your hand through everything you once thought was impossible. When my light begins to rise from within you, those around you will recognize it. They will not need to ask what has changed because my presence in you will speak louder than words. Those who once doubted you, who said you were dreaming foolish dreams, will be silenced by the clear evidence from heaven. Not because you tried to prove anything, but because my glory will be made manifest in your life in a way no one can deny. The quiet but profound work I've been doing in your heart will become visible in undeniable fruit. You will begin to see the harvest from the seeds you faithfully sowed. on days when no one noticed, in the nights when no one understood. The prayers you whispered in loneliness, the moments you gave up what you loved to choose what I desired, the times you persisted in doing what was right even when no one applauded. All of these will begin to bloom, and you will understand. Not one act of obedience is meaningless. Not one tear shed is ever forgotten on my sacred ground. The harvest you once longed for will come, but it will not arrive with noise. It will come like the gentle dawn after a dark night. You will begin to see fields of fruit stretch before your eyes, not only in the physical, but also in the spiritual. You will notice the change within your own heart. The places that once held pain will now stand strong. Where there was once doubt, now unshakable faith. Where things were once broken, now wells of life for others, and you will understand. It was in the crushing you once resented that I was forming a new vessel, stronger, more beautiful, more useful for my kingdom. The tears you once thought were wasted will become rain that waters the fields you now reap. You will walk among the results of what you once endured, of the losses you once wept over, and there will be no more pain, only wonder and deep gratitude. For now you will understand that everything happened for a purpose, so that you could behold the beauty of restoration, so that you could experience joy after seasons of sorrow, so that you could be clothed in new life after all the weariness you endured. I will clothe you with joy instead of mourning, and give you a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. The days when you felt shattered will become the very evidence of the power of the one who rebuilds what has been broken. You will no longer be a victim of circumstance, but a living witness to the mighty renewal that comes from me. No one will be able to deny the work I have done, for your life will stand as living proof that I am the one who turns ashes into glory, makes dry places into flourishing gardens, and transforms sighs into songs. The weakness that once made you tremble will be replaced by strength, not the strength of human will, but the power of divine grace. I will give you the ability to do what you once thought was beyond you. You will speak words that carry life. You will pray and witness transformation. You will walk and see miracles. And you will know it was not by your might, but by me, the one who has walked beside you in every step, even when you could not feel me. People may only see the outcome, but you will be the one who knows the cost of that transformation. And it is this truth that will keep your heart humble. You will not boast in what you've received, for you will know that I alone am the source. You will not look down on those still in a dark season, for you will remember that you were once there. Instead, you will become a lifter, an encourager, a vessel of compassion, for you have tasted deeply both the sorrow and the joy of being transformed by my love. My child, I have seen your silent perseverance. I have witnessed the days when you had no strength, yet still prayed. The moments when you didn't understand, yet still walked forward. The times when you had nothing left, yet still gave me everything. And now, I am filling your cup, not just so you may be satisfied, but so you may overflow to others. You will become a giver, not from material abundance, but from the overflow of gratitude, from the grace you have experienced, from the wellspring of true life you've received in me. So do not be surprised when you find yourself stepping into a season of joy after so many years of brokenness. Do not be surprised when you begin to see beauty in places that once were wounds. And do not doubt when strength begins to flow from the very place that used to be your greatest weakness. This is the reward for faithfulness. This is the glory after the trial. This is restoration, not just to make up for what was lost, but to lift you into a new realm, where you live not merely for yourself, but as an instrument in my hand, used to bring light to the dark, healing to the brokenhearted, and hope to those on the brink of surrender. And it all began because you did not give up. You chose to believe. You chose to obey. You chose to follow me, even when you didn't understand. Now your season has come, a season of harvest, a season of joy, a season of new beginnings, where my work in your life will be revealed in glory. And you will not be able to deny that it was I, the Lord your God, who did it all, wonderfully, lovingly, and perfectly. And then will come the moment, a time I appointed long before you knew pain, before you stepped into the fire. A time when the light of heaven will pour over your life so publicly, so undeniably, that no one will be able to refute it. In that moment, those who doubted you, who mocked your dreams, who looked at you with pity, will bow their heads in silence, not because you proved anything, but because I myself will step forth to show that my hand has always been upon you. My presence will so surround you that every slanderous word, every scornful glance, every twisted intention aimed at you will vanish like mist before the morning sun. Those who once laughed when you stood alone, who whispered behind your back when you fell into the pit of doubt and despair, they will witness me restore you not only to where you once hoped to be, but far beyond every human standard. Your elevation will not come from mere effort, but from divine intervention, a lifting no one can stop, a hand that raises you from the lowest valley to heights that only I can bring you to. There is no criticism loud enough to silence the voice of grace. No sin from your past holds the power to stop the future I am unfolding for you. No scornful gaze from man can hinder the glory I am pouring out upon your life. I am the one who lifts up, not according to human standards, but according to the judgment of heaven. And when I choose to raise someone up, no force on earth can stand in the way. When I choose to bless, every bitter word, every dark intention, every narrow scheme becomes powerless. The very tongues that once condemned you will be silenced by the work I do in you. They will witness the blessings overflowing in your life, not merely in material form, but in the steadfast peace, the abounding joy, the deep wisdom, and the vibrant presence of me dwelling within you. And they will be unable to deny it, saying, "Truly, the Lord of this one has done great things." I will make you a living testimony to an undeniable truth, that I choose the weak to confound the strong, that I use what the world overlooks to accomplish what no one expects. Those who predicted your downfall, who foretold your failure, will witness you rise, not by your own strength, but by my grace, and they will see you walk forward in victory. But my beloved, this is not so you may boast, nor use it as evidence against those who caused you pain. I am not doing this so that you can take revenge. I am doing it so that you may understand that I am the God of justice. I am the one who sees all things. No word escapes me, no action goes unnoticed, no wound is hidden from my sight. I do not ignore the injustices you have suffered. Yet instead of responding with destruction, I choose to respond with blessing, so that even those who stood against you will bow and acknowledge my glory. You will not need to defend yourself. You will not need to argue nor retaliate. What I do in your life will speak louder than any words you could say. I will display my glory through you in a way that none can deny, and in their silence you will know I have fought for you, and though you were silent, I have triumphed. Do you remember the nights you wept alone, when no one stood by your side? When the words of others cut through your soul like blades? I was there. I heard every word they spoke. I felt every wound within your heart. But I did not respond right away. I remained silent, not because I agreed with them, but because I was preparing an answer filled with glory, not through wrath, but through everlasting light. And now that light is drawing near. It will reveal whom I have chosen, whom I have loved, and whom I have called by name. And you will stand, not in pride, but in deep and sacred gratitude. You will not look back in bitterness at those who betrayed you or wounded you. Instead, compassion will rise within you, because now you understand. Those who resist what is sacred often do so because they have never encountered the light. You will forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you have been forgiven. You will walk with your head held high, not because you are better than anyone else, but because you are covered by everlasting mercy. So let me speak this to you, my child. No one can imprison the future I have destined for you. No scornful gaze, no poisonous word, no opposition can prevent me from completing what I have begun. What I am doing in you will resound even in the hearts of those who once turned away from you. And they, one by one, will see, will marvel, and will have to confess. Truly, there is a God who has been with this one. Let your heart be filled with peace. There is no need to justify yourself or respond to accusations. I am the one who defends your name, the one who restores every wound, the one who will bring you honor in the appointed time. When I rise on your behalf, no one can oppose. When I move, no enemy can stand in the way. All I ask is that you continue walking in the light, living according to the call from heaven. Keep trusting, keep forgiving, and guard your heart from bitterness, for the reward you are approaching is not merely restoration but great glory, a spiritual position where you become a sign, a voice, a living testimony to a world drowning in doubt, a bold declaration that I am real, my love is true, and my justice is never delayed. My beloved child, my eyes have never left you, and my ears have heard every sigh, every sacred whisper from the depths of your soul. I know you have come to me in days of unrest, with a heart fractured by doubt, with prayers that blend faith and fear. But today I want you to know this: when you draw near to me, do not carry the weight of anxiety or the burden of unanswered questions. Do not enter my presence with suspicion in your heart or confusion clouding your eyes. Come with reverence, with a steady faith, not in your own strength, but in me, the one who never changes. Let not fear lead your prayers, and do not let a restless mind silence the voice of my spirit within you. I do not seek prayers clothed in confusion, but words born from an honest heart, simple, yet full of trust in my power. I am not looking for perfect words. I look for sincerity, humility, and full surrender. I have said, I listen to those who come in truth, who hold nothing back, who hide no pain, who do not use flowery speech to mask their wounds, but speak to me as a child speaks to their father. And my child, in this season where I am moving you, drawing you out of the old and into the new, into something greater, you must anchor yourself in prayer. Not prayer from habit or words spoken without thought, but the kind that flows from a living heart, from a soul being transformed. This is no longer a time for shallow requests, but for deep communion between you and me. This is the season for prophetic prayer, where you not only speak but listen, where you don't just present your needs, but receive my divine intentions. So now, be still. Let me teach you how to pray in the midst of divine transition. Let me guide your mouth to speak words that align with the sacred time you are living in. For not every moment calls for silence, and not every prayer bears fruit, unless it is spoken in unity with my heart. This is what I want you to learn. When you pray in seasons of transformation, begin with gratitude. Remember what I have done in years past. Recall how I made a way through the wilderness, how I lifted you when no one else believed, how I spoke life and hope into your soul when all other voices were silent. Gratitude is the door that leads you into deeper presence. It reminds you that I am not the God of never, but the God of always. I was faithful, and I will remain faithful. I have acted, and I will act again. Then, my child, surrender. Say to me, Lord, I no longer desire my own plans. I only long for what you have destined for my life. Let your prayer no longer revolve around shaping your circumstances to fit your will, but become a cry for heaven's will to be fulfilled within you. Say, Lord, do not merely change my location, transform me. For if you step into a new place with a heart that has not been renewed, you will only carry the same burdens in a different setting. But if your mind is transformed, even in the wilderness, you will witness flowers bloom. After this, ask me for discernment, spiritual wisdom to distinguish my voice from the voice of the flesh and from the deceiving whispers dressed in disguise. For in seasons of transition, the voices around you will grow louder than ever before, but only one voice is worthy of your attention, the voice that comes from heaven. Ask me to open your eyes to see what you have never seen. Open your ears to hear what you have never heard, and open your heart to believe. Then pray for courage. Not courage to do things that appear great in the eyes of man, but the quiet, steadfast courage to obey me in every small step. Pray for the courage to say no to opportunities that are not from me, the courage to wait when I instruct you to be still, the courage to walk away from what once felt safe but now belongs to a past season, and the courage to enter into what I have promised, even if all you carry is my word. Finally, let your prayer end in trust. Say to me, I believe you have heard. I believe you have already prepared the way. I believe your timing is perfect. And I will walk forward in peace, knowing you go before me. Faith is not a feeling. It is a continual act of choosing me. Faith is not the absence of fear. It is moving forward even while your heart trembles. And when you pray in faith, not because you understand everything, but because you know me, the one who holds all things, then heaven and earth will shift in response. My child, never forget, prayer is not about persuading me to change my mind, but about allowing your heart to align with the rhythm of heaven. Do not be afraid to draw near to me. I am not distant. I am your Father, the one who listens when everyone else turns away, the one who lifts you up when you can no longer stand, the one who wipes your tears when no one else understands the depths of your heart. I wait for you, not to judge, but to embrace, not to demand, but to give. So come, my child, do not delay. Pray as one who knows that their Father is listening. Open your heart, trust fully, surrender completely. For when you pray like this, the earth will move, the heavens will respond, and a new season will unfold before your very eyes. A season that not only changes your circumstances, but transforms you into one who carries light, life, and the voice of heaven in every step you take. If you love the Lord, Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss any of the meaningful, life-giving messages from God. Together we will grow in faith and live a life fully embraced in His love. Amen.